For this lesson in our Earth and the Universe unit, we're going to be looking at Earth's moon. And over the next couple lessons, we're going to be talking about different features of Earth's moon, some characteristics that it has that are different from what we have on Earth. And we're going to see how it moves in relationship to the Earth, just like we saw the Earth moves in relationship to the Sun. Now, the first thing that's important to know about Earth's moon is that it is Earth's only natural satellite. And usually when you hear the term satellite, you think about something that we shoot into space to give us TV or cell phone signals or something like that. But a satellite is just something that orbits a planet or orbits another body in the solar system. And when we say a natural satellite, that means that it's naturally occurring. We didn't put it there, we didn't make it. It's a naturally occurring satellite that orbits the Earth, unlike the man-made satellites that are also up there that do those other things for us. Now in lesson 2, we looked at how the Earth revolves around the Sun, and we talked about how this causes different seasons for us on Earth because of the tilt of Earth's axis. But just like the Earth revolves around the Sun, the Moon also revolves around the Earth. Now because obviously it has a much shorter distance traveling around the Earth than we do traveling around the Sun, this is a much quicker revolution than Earth's. The Moon actually makes one complete revolution around Earth about every 28 days. As we look at the Moon from Earth, we see during this 28-day orbit some changes that take place, and we'll look at that in the next lesson as we talk about phases of the Moon. But today I just want to focus on a few characteristics of the Moon that distinguish it from Earth. Now we know from pictures we've seen of the Moon's surface that its surface is very different from the surface of Earth. The majority of our planet's surface is covered by water, whereas on the Moon it's rocky, dusty, really a barren environment that doesn't have the water and the ice and the snow and the things that we have, the plants, the living things that we have on Earth. We also see something called craters on the Moon, and these are those usually round objects. It almost looks like something punched into the Moon and made a hole there. And that's actually what happens to cause these craters. They're caused from impacts of asteroids and just pieces, even small ones caused by just little pieces of space debris that hit the Moon's surface and leave marks there. Now, even though objects hit the Earth also, on Earth we have, winds and rains and things like that that kind of reshape the surface enough to cover up markings like that happened a long time ago. The craters that we see on the Moon, they could have been there for a few days or they could have been there for a few thousand years. Because the things that hit the Moon, again, there's no weather, there's no water, there's nothing to cover up those marks, and they'll stay there essentially forever. The reason for this difference is because of Earth's atmosphere. And the atmosphere of Earth is just essentially this layer of gases, water vapor, that surrounds the Earth. It contains the oxygen that we breathe, that we need to survive. It contains the carbon dioxide that plants need to survive. And it just surrounds the Earth, and this layer goes up about 200 miles above Earth's surface. So it's this thick layer of gases, water vapor, tiny particles. But this atmosphere allows our planet to have weather. It allows us to have wind. It allows us to have these things that do give us life on Earth. Something else, though, about our atmosphere that's very important is our atmosphere helps to protect us. If you've ever seen a video of a space shuttle re-entry or a satellite re-entry or something, you see as it starts to come into Earth's atmosphere, it starts to get hot and it actually starts to glow red because of the tremendous amount of heat caused by friction from air resistance. And that's why when you see shooting stars, what we're seeing are these little meteorites and things falling to Earth that are heating up and usually burning up in the atmosphere. So the atmosphere, not only does it give us our oxygen, it gives us our water cycle, it gives us our weather, it does protect us from debris from outer space. And because the Moon's surface doesn't have this atmosphere, that's why we get so many of these, like large and small craters, all over the Moon's surface. With this lesson, we'll be doing an activity looking at craters on the Moon and factors that affect the size and shape of craters. But as a lead-in to our lessons about the Moon and about the Moon phases, it is important to understand a few features of the Moon that distinguish it from Earth.